What's going
Well,
on? Tell me, what's on your mind?
I'm like, I'm just like nervous, but really excited.
Don't be
It's
nervous.
like I'm meeting an idol. I'm literally meeting an idol. But like, just preparing for this moment for so long. But I'm very excited today. Yes. I also get to miss one of my classes, so you know. a little.
Well, tell
tell
your
my teacher
teacher,
anything.
ask your teacher for forgiveness from me, because you're doing me a
I
favor.
definitely don't make the exception.
Yes.
Make the exception.
Tell your teacher thank you.
I guess, of course, I will.
Well, what's on your mind? What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about?
Yes, I actually do want to talk to you about. I wanted to ask you one question about your book, which, by the way, I have read and I love it. Divine. And yes, so I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for teens who want to be themselves and thrive like you have and currently are?
Well, like
also
you have and currently are, you know? I mean, I am just so proud of you, being just an amazing role model and embracing your truth, right? You're already doing this. So maybe this is for some other young people that are listening. And I think that you are the kind of individual that will never feel stuck. And I think that that's one of the important things you're offering to the audience that you're serving. Like, break out of the same old thing and try something new, because the world will be your oyster and you will be able to do anything in life.
Exactly.
And give your family my love. All right.
Of course. All right. Bye.
All right. Proud of you, babe.
You can see that Michelle Obama has been pushing perversion on the Black community for a number of years. Her and her husband have contributed to the acceptance of perversion. And when I say perversion, I'm talking about lifestyles that are not in alignment with the Word of God, lifestyles that are contrary to what the Word of God says, lifestyles that are contrary to the reproduction of human beings. Michelle Obama championed the LGBTQ position that President Barack Obama took. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama was the one to light up the White House in rainbow colors after the Obergefell decision. Michelle Obama has been pushing this through her husband onto the Black community because, as I've stated before, to the Democratic Party, to the Marxists and the Communists and the Socialists, to the Black feminists, Black men are only valuable to them if they are dead, gay, or trans. And before we get to Michelle Obama's latest celebration of lifestyles that are not in alignment with the Word of God, I want to talk about how you can incorporate gold and other precious metals into your retirement portfolio. It is so important right now that we, as believers, are good stewards of what God has blessed us with. So if you want more information about incorporating gold and other precious metals into your retirement portfolio, please go to thebiblicalconservative.com/gold or click on the link in the description.
Well, speaking of parenting, I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. Would you care to share that journey of?
Well, I learned and their transition really taught me what real unconditional love was.
Yep.
When they went through the transition,
Mm-hmm.
I actually went through the transition.
Yep.
I went from denial to complete acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a week to get there. And what I've learned as a parent is for you to stop loving your child because of their choice in their life, that's a poor reflection on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When there's people that go, I'm not going to associate with you because you do that, or this is against God, and this. It's like, listen, I am not here to judge. I am not God. Only God can judge. And I say this, and if that's a mistake and we get to heaven and God don't let my child in, I'm going to shave a beard and sneak him in through the back. But I'm going to love my baby. And
Yeah.
I'm a father.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to defend them. I'm always going to protect them. I'm always going to respect them. And there's nothing anybody could ever tell me. I could lose fans good. I lost people that are small-minded, small-hearted, and self-loathing. So
Amen.
goodbye. And I gained, for every one I lose,
Yeah.
I gain 150 more,
Yeah.
you know?
So for me as the uncle, you know, it's, I love you, period, right? But somebody got to write a rule book and how I need to treat you. Because I don't know, do I, hey, buddy, do I shake your hand? Can I put you in a headlock? Can I treat you like my like I treat my other nephews? I don't know, you know, and I don't want you to ever feel that I'm judging you.
That's right, because you just don't know. I used to say it's like going to your grandmother and expecting them to learn a new language overnight. You know, it's like they've been speaking this language, using pronouns in this way for their entire life. And to get it wrong, and it's a mutual patience with the process.
And they've been very patient with me and their mother, because you know, when they changed their name, I'm like, I called you a Mai for 23 years. What you mean, Kai? Who's Kai? I know you as a Mai. What you mean them? I know you as her. And it was a process.
Takes
and at
some
the end of the
time.
day, it's respect. That's what they want, and that's their wishes. So respect their wishes. And I know that the same child is in there. That they're brilliant, right? And that's all I really care about, is they're kind-hearted, they're really funny, have a great sense of humor, and extremely intelligent. And you know, those are the things I'm proud of. Are you a good person? I don't care about your sexualities and you know all these other things, your genders or associations. I care that you are a good-hearted person. That you take care of your siblings, your mother, you're respectful. They have been wonderful their whole lives. I never had any problem with them at all. So, you know.
And I like to be putting that out there for the world. I mean, because, you know, we just, especially in our community, you know, we've sacrificed a lot over this issue. And it's all about realizing that we got to love people how they come to us, period. Not just our kids, but all kids. And the notion that, you know, we would, you know, put people in unfair advantages, put their lives at risk over some nonsense.
Because those are bad people. End of the day, when you are being divisive like that, you are a bad person. Your core is bad. You, no matter what you do, you're not going to make your way in heaven. My job is to be here to give laughter and to give love, and everything that got to be my intention and will always be. And that like I said, I'm a father. That's my baby. And, you know, I fight with them to the end, period.
I love that.
So Marlon Wayans must be saying that people like myself who are coming at it from a biblical standpoint are cold-hearted and unloving. No, sir, we're not. It is not unloving to state biblical truth. Now, people do it in an unloving way, but Ephesians 4:15 tells us to speak the truth in love. We speak the truth in a loving way, because when you speak the truth to somebody, that is love. Buying into delusion and affirming delusion is not love. Buying into delusion and affirming delusion is not love. You do not love your child when you buy into delusion. You do not love your child when you buy into and affirm behavior that leads to their destruction. That is not love. That's not biblical love. That's this worldly love that people want to stamp on something they don't understand, or stamp on something when they don't want to stand on a position. Nobody's telling you to disassociate from your child. What we're saying is that according to the word of God and according to nature, natural law, that is perverted. Not your child is perverted, that is perverted. You're referring to your child with they, them pronouns. Again, the only person I know in the Bible that talked about they and them was possessed with demons. This whole transgender movement is from the pit of hell, because what it does, it leads to the lack of reproduction of the human race. That's what it does. I know a lot of people struggle with that, especially when you have loved ones that's gone through that. but you have to stand on the word of God and speak the truth in love. But people like Michelle Obama consistently push this agenda, especially in the Black community. As you heard her, her main intent is to make sure Black people get on board with this LGBTQ movement. That's been her sole purpose, to push perversion in the Black community. And unfortunately, too many church plant pastors have bowed the knee and got on board with that. They've thrown away biblical truth for political power, political positioning. And so Michelle Obama is still celebrating and pushing this perversion. She did it with Dwayne Wade's son. Now she's doing it with Marlon Wayans' child, and she'll probably continue to do it. And for people that say this is not biblically sound, is not biblically true, they want to call us names and label us as heartless. We're not heartless. We're just speaking the truth in love because we don't want any child to be a victim. Because we're not victims. We are empowered for greatness.